Show is brought to you by Even Keel Fish Shack.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim sauce with the awesome bay, with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another special roadshow remote edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Today, coming to you live from Talia's Tuscan table. Talk about alliteration that I love in Boca Raton.
We're in Boca.
Boca Raton.
Yeah.
Where this is great. Lubie has set this thing up, and it's a really cozy little joint here right on the east side of town near FAU. And we're supposed to be joined a little bit later in the show by one Mr. Tom Hermann, who, as
big-time coach,
many people may or may not know, is the new head football coach at Florida Atlantic University. And this is an athletic program that's on the rise, obviously putting notice to the world that they are no longer a second-tier Florida school, because FAU's men's basketball team, led by Coach Dusty May, made it all the way to the Final Four.
Yep.
And really, if it wasn't for maybe a little bit of a I don't know, a little glitch in the matrix in the last minute, they would have been in the final game against UConn.
Here's to you guys.
Here we go. Here's to birthday week continues for me, Mike Mayo, Jeff Defo DeForest, Mike Lubie. We salute, we raise a glass, we say Cent'anni. Much success to Coach Hermann, who we'll talk with. Again, this is a man
he's literally coming in the door, this guy.
At the University of Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, at Austin. Really? This is like a huge, big deal Division I school. Things, didn't work out there, as is known to happen in the big. They're very impatient there.
Texas has been a disaster.
Coaching, but Austin's loss is now Boca's gain, and he's looking to bring the FAU Owls football program to the same prominence that the basketball program has already achieved this year. Notice how I'm glossing over the, I guess, let's raise a glass. Besides saying Cent'anni, we say salute to the Miami Heat. It was a glorious season. We'll, I guess, maybe spill a drop of wine like they do at the Seder table.
You want to do a blow taps for the Heat. Although they made it, pretty far, you would have to say. They mowed down Milwaukee, mowed down the Knicks, mowed down Boston in dramatic fashion. And, they just ran into a juggernaut.
It was something. Team. Yeah. It was some kind of run. It was a lot of fun for a lot of people all during the postseason. And, I got text last night from one Pat Utter, our friend down at Shenanigans.
I thought you were going to say Pat Riley there. I was going to say,
I don't have that much juice anymore, maybe. No, it was great because Pat Utter put the proper context perspective on it. Yeah, it was a bitter loss in that it was a really close game, and the Heat certainly had chances to win it and win this game. And, of course, then there was Jimmy Butler, he rose from the ashes and started making every shot, and then just as quickly he receded back into the ground.
It was a very brief period.
Maybe like 3 minutes.
He dished off the pass. Instead of taking a shot or driving, he dished off to, Strus for the three-pointer that missed.
Which
and then he had the horrendous turnover where he just kind of floated the ball, and it got snatched. And here we go, walking in now to Talia's table. Come on over here. And we started the show a little bit early, but I want to say welcome. Big Boca Raton welcome. South Florida welcome. Come on,
Thank you,
sit
guys.
down.
Thank you, guys.
This is the new head football coach.
But we couldn't keep that glass of wine in front of the coach.
Well, yeah, you can't do that.
With the internet
I actually make people, if they want to take a picture of me, I'm like, can you please
move that drink?
Put the drink.
Am I allowed to drink a glass of wine?
You can drink a glass. You can drink whatever the hell you want.
I could show you ID. I am over 21.
I could tell that.
Celebrating a birthday this week. My name is Mike Mayo. This
Are
is
you really
just
celebrating a birthday?
Yeah, on Saturday.
Hey, you're a Gemini?
I'm a Gemini.
Me too.
Yeah, all right, cool.
Guess his age for a free sandwich.
54.
Nice.
Good.
That.
You know what? You can assess talent.
Yeah. I will drink to that. No, I am celebrating my Heinz birthday. Do you know what the Heinz birthday?
57.
57.
Did you purposely go low? You took the under?
I took the under because I know that's the polite thing to do. But I knew I kind of felt like I was close. So
Yeah.
rather than go 58, I went 54.
No, good thinking. Yeah, you don't want to go 6-0.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
That's the Mendoza line for men.
I knew I wasn't going to go over 60 for
Guess
sure.
this guy's age. Can you guess this guy's age?
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, go high.
Hang on.
You definitely want to go
And his
high.
birthday,
No.
next birthday is July 5th. So
Coming up
just
on
a little
a-
bit
on a-
less
on
than a
a-
month away.
Okay.
Defo
My
will be-
number's blinking on the board if
With
you're a
your-
horse racing
your-
fan.
Beautiful blue eyes with your silver fox hair.
Went all natural. I decided to
You
go anti-Boca.
are 63.
Oh God,
This guy,
he's really working us. He's
Where do I buy
politician.
season tickets?
No, what?
72.
I was-
72.
Cruising in on 7-2.
You're going into 7-0?
No, he's
7-2,
72.
Oh,
He's
that's
already
my
in the
mom's
he's-
age. Yeah,
7-0
yeah.
we were in Vegas for.
She was born in 51
Nice.
That's
and
right, yeah.
graduated summer of
Could be
69.
this man's father. How about
Right?
that? Yeah.
That's
You graduated summer of 69?
69 was my high school
Yeah.
Graduation year. Right
Yeah.
there with Special K. I
You,
think,
you and
also, yeah.
no,
Kevin.
he graduated 48.
But he's still playing basketball, this guy.
Yeah. When did you graduate? 1948? Bull.
Well,
Our
so
friend Kevin
this,
turned us on to this place. So
this
it's
is great. We're
Yeah.
here at Talia's Tuscan Table. If you've never been up here, cute little place that has a really impressive menu of these sandwiches and all kinds of pasta
It's
dishes.
The team eats here, right?
unbelievable
Oh.
Italian food.
Did they cater to the team and
Yeah,
events?
we have Kevin would bring in pasta, bread, the whole nine on Thursdays during the spring.
Oh, good.
We feed our guys lunch every day.
Yep.
And as a change up, we would bring Talia's in on Thursdays, and the kids
And
loved it.
I could attest that, Italian food is great, especially if you're working out, burning lots of calories. I made the mistake
I
of
don't do any of
trying
that.
to go keto.
Right
I-
before the game, too, they feed the opponents this food.
Yeah.
Especially Kevin told me
Yeah,
that
so
the
they take a nap.
sandwiches are huge. Yeah, a little melatonin in there, whatever that is.
All good. Well,
That's
we're going
good.
to talk a little football, a little food, because
Love
that's I don't know if you know my background, but I was a long, oh, well, that's all right. Why should you?
You made the ultimate parlay professional.
Yeah,
Yes.
31-year print journalist, no longer doing the print thing, but worked for the Sun Sentinel newspaper here. I started off as a sports writer and sports columnist. And then after I started pissing off every coach and player in town,
Everybody hates him.
I got run off into the news section where I got into politics, where I really take people
Oh
off.
my gosh.
And then, the newspaper business is kind of not doing too well. It's kind of like
Well,
sinking.
yeah, I was going to say print media.
So
is,
2016, I had the opportunity to become the food and restaurant critic, and I jumped at that chance. And so it was like going to the midnight buffet on the Titanic.
I mean,
and
it was 40
great.
pounds ago, too.
yeah, I was going to
Maybe
say.
you could get him in a couple of workouts.
I gained a total of 60 pounds in my stint,
Oh.
6 years doing
No.
the food critic thing.
No.
I used to run half marathons. Now I waddle a little bit to the buffet table. But I put on 60, dropped 20, but I'm still up 40 from my starting weight. So it's not
It's a net gain.
it's not a lifestyle I recommend for the faint of heart.
If you took out that one rushing play for 70 yards, we did a good job
Yeah.
stopping their run game.
Exactly. Yeah.
And-
Other than the the two
That's
runs
Tom Oliver used
for
to do
60
that.
yards, yeah, we held them to two yards of
2-point
carry.
yeah.
But I have that elusive cheetah speed. You'd be surprised. I still did the 40 in about 7.2. So
Yeah.
anyway,
He's
Defo
not trying
here.
out for the team. He has no eligibility left by the way.
we're good.
Defo here, tennis player, but he's a longtime sports talk veteran in town. He on the air in various
Yeah,
capacities
did
for
you-
40 plus years.
You guys both grew up in South Florida, or
No,
we're
no,
transplants?
New York,
boys.
both
We're
Brooklyn
both.
guys. Yeah,
We're
yeah.
a couple of Brooklyn boys. He went west to California for his first early
Where in
gigs.
California?
L.A.
Where?
Well, I was in Los Angeles
Like-
itself, and then
Where'd you live?
later on, when I got started, I was in Ontario, which is just
Oh,
outside
in the
east
Inland
of-
Empire.
Now, you,
yeah.
you
Oh, yeah.
spent time
Yeah,
growing
well, the
up.
Inland
right?
I grew up
Empire,
in Simi
oh, did you?
Valley, in
Okay,
Ventura
good, so-
County.
Oh,
Yeah.
Did you know there were mountains back there behind the Inland
Well,
Empire?
you can't see them through the smog
It's amazing.
because it traps all the smog right there in the Inland Empire.
Then you get that
Riverside,
one, what is that, the Santa Ana
Fontana,
winds?
Ontario.
That's where
Yeah.
I started in Fontana, which
Yeah.
at that time there was a little newspaper office, and then tumbleweed would blow by the door. There was
Oh,
nothing
yeah.
out there, and it really
Yeah,
grew.
Jim
so,
Rome would call that
But what a hotbed for-
Fontucky,
are
by
you-
the way.
Are you recruiting there? I mean,
No.
that was the hotbed of all high school recruiting.
It's very good. It's
Yeah.
very good. But we've got plenty here in
lot of
certainly in
talent.
the
So-
Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties, and then obviously in the entire state of Florida too.
So enough about us. You're the
no,
man of the
I
moment.
like
no.
I
This
like
is-
people.
You gotta know who you're talking to.
So again, this coach Tom Hermann, he is going to go into his first season as head coach. FAU Owls, program on the rise, school on the rise, national profile now. Once the basketball team and Dusty May led his lads to the Final Four.
That was pretty cool.
That was more than pretty cool. It was shocking. I mean, it was so cool. And Boca, I guess it's a town that's their biggest industry is Botox. Second biggest industry is complaining. So, but it's nice to have now something else on the table.
Biggest industry is Botox.
It's the one place when you.
I have not heard that one, but
you'll find this, coach, if you go to certain areas.
It is very accurate.
Instead of a guy selling flowers on the corner, they do Botox injections
on the corner.
while you're in the car.
On the corner.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Convertible Mercedes and lady.
You don't have a guy with a trench coat with watches. You got a guy with
syringes.
He's got syringes.
And then that's why every time you meet somebody and they just look so happy, to surprised to meet you, and then the face doesn't move at all.
Yeah, I know.
Like
they all look like Wayne Newton at the hockey game.
I was going to say Wayne Gretzky looks like he had a little Botox.
I didn't know he was alive. Did you?
Huh?
I did not know he was alive. No, but when I did see that he was
a little
alive,
frightening.
he was. He looked very plastic.
He did.
Yeah.
Watch out for the alumni meetings. Don't mention Wayne there.
Now
I think he was
were awesome.
He might have been a hologram, and I'm a little bit scared for tonight's game out there in Vegas. I think they're going to trot out Liberace, Sammy Davis Jr., and Elvis is going to be back in the building. It's going to be quite the sight. Yeah. And
Garth Brooks, Celine Dion.
Did
you get them all? Get them all.
So I think we found what the common denominator is. Since Coach Herman has arrived in town, all our teams have been going gangbusters.
Nothing but success,
right? When did you get hired, and when did you actually come in?
Well,
tell us the story.
I kind of apparently I gravitate towards basketball schools.
Nice.
The other two schools I was head coach of, I think all three of them made the Elite Eight or at least the Sweet 16.
At Houston, Texas,
U of H, Texas, and FAU. So I got hired the first week in December.
Nice.
Spent most of that first week just meeting with the current players, trying to make sure, in today's day and age that our really good players stuck around and gave us a chance and didn't transfer
portals
didn't chase money.
How hard was that to,
it was hard
to deal with, because now we see, that's the thing in college football. You have, look at Dion. He transferred the whole team out of there.
Sure. Yeah. I think there's a balancing act, because there are, to be honest, there's some players that you need to kind of move on.
Charlie, it might be best for you to go to Murfreesboro.
Yeah, and so
kind of like what they did to me at the papers.
We
got these buyout offers. Take one.
Those conversations are always hard, but you also, I love every one of our players. I told them the very first day I got hired, like when your wife gives birth to a child, you don't wait to see how fast it can run, how handsome it's going to be, how smart it's going to be, how tall it's going to be. You just love it.
You love them unconditionally.
You love them unconditionally because it's yours, right? And so that was our thinking when we got to FAU. Like we're gonna love all of you. Like I don't know any of you,
right?
But I'm
Is
gonna
that
love
good or bad?
No, both.
Okay.
I think
start with a clean slate.
Well, for some kids they got a new lease on life.
Yeah.
For others, not so much. So, but we chose to keep as many as we could. We kept all of the commitments that wanted to stay, that were in that signing class, and but we have also in January and now in May and June, we have enhanced our roster, with some transfers from other schools as well.
And excuse my ignorance, I haven't looked at your schedule for the upcoming season. Who are some of the teams you're playing, like out of conference?
Well, we go back-to-back weeks on the road at Clemson, at Illinois.
Oh, that's nothing.
So that'll be.
Can we fire the AD? I mean, what do we have to do with this guy? Who put that?
Whoever agreed to that? Yeah.
Clemson is a rough spot, isn't it? Have you played
the Valley? I've never. I have coached against Clemson, but it was in the Orange Bowl in Miami.
Okay.
When I was at Ohio State with Taj Boyd at quarterback.
Okay.
I still think Sammy Watkins is catching pass. I think he had like 14 catches.
just
Hey, he's
Wow.
got another one,
Right.
Watkins.
Yeah.
Well, I actually did
Did you cover
go
that
to
game?
Death
Yeah.
Valley. No, I've been to Clemson. My first.
Now I've been there
my
Yeah.
because
first job.
we used to clinic in the spring
Okay.
with Clemson every year.
I've been there for a game because
It's a
my
rough
first
spot,
job
yeah.
out of college full time
Look at
was
this. Mayo,
the
man.
Spartanburg Herald Journal in South Carolina, and that Clemson was only about 40 miles away from Sparkle City.
I read
And-
something where Clemson, South Carolina, and West Point, New York are the two smallest cities that have FBS programs.
That probably sounds right. And then there's Howard's Rock there, and everybody starts,
Do you see that,
massaging
Mike
the
Mayo?
rock
I mean,
before they go
Yeah,
down.
I'm gonna go touch it. Dabo,
Yeah.
I think Dabo will let me.
Yeah, do that.
I don't know if he's going to do his
endear
usual
you.
thing here on the show because normally when the food comes, being the food
Right,
critic,
that's
he dives right into it.
it's
And-
low fat, low carb.
Yeah.
But out of respect, he must have a great deal of respect for you because
Well,
he hasn't
I'm
had
waiting
a
a
bite
full
yet.
5 seconds until I
Yeah.
dive in. No, here on the Lunchbox,
It's literally
talk
still
food.
steaming. Right now.
we talk food, we talk
And he
sports,
can't wait to dive into it.
we don't talk politics, even though today something.
Today's a
Everybody
big
just
day.
avoid
I-
Miami. Don't go
well,
to Miami. It's going to be a
if-
madhouse down there today. Yeah,
I do not want to
yeah,
talk
no,
politics.
we're not going to do
Okay,
that.
thank
What I
you.
do want to do is talk a little bit about your background, not
Sure.
even football, but I read that you were born in Cincinnati, Ohio.
I was.
How
yeah.
many years did you spend
Uh-oh, I
there?
know what's coming.
You know what's coming.
Yeah, I know what's coming.
Okay,
Coach.
so when my mom and dad got divorced when I was 1 year old.
Okay.
My mom remarried, and that new husband, his job when I was 5, took us out to Southern California.
Okay, so you went,
But
you
I
spent
spent
the first
most
5 years.
Yeah, but I spent
So-
most summers, Christmases. My grandma, Luisa Sepazzoti,
Oh, nice. An
Wow.
Italian.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Italian.
I wonder
No,
the
no, you
attraction
had a
to
known-
Italian
she's
food.
94 years
Oh,
old.
Early
God
star,
bless.
was he?
Say it again?
Was he with Columbus? I mean, sounds very Italian.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
yeah.
She's
Columbus
yeah,
on the ship, not
Yeah,
the
yeah,
city.
yeah.
I got
Yeah, Columbus High
it.
School.
Columbus right
You
up
may
the
have
road.
hoping he was
Columbus,
connected to
Ohio is
Columbus
right
High
up the
School,
road
yeah.
from
Yeah.
Cincinnati.
But
But
smells great, by the way.
Look
no.
out.
Yeah, look
Mayo,
at this.
this
It's
is,
no
this is
lunchbox.
over the
It's
top
complete
here.
what
without
is
lunch.
this? Anybody?
This is eggplant rollatini. So
I'm
it's
gonna try it.
little
Thank
fried,
you.
I'll try it.
fried eggplant stuffed with ricotta cheese and a nice marinara sauce
Yeah.
and garlic.
You
We
can
love our
deep fry
Italian
just
food.
about anything.
He knows
And
football. I mean, food like you know football.
Yeah.
You put sauce and
All right.
cheese on
But-
it, and I'm probably gonna eat it.
So let me
I
get
mean,
back. So the question was that you've spent time in
Yes.
Cincinnati.
Oh, well, so
but my
and then I went back actually for a year. My mom
Right.
wound up divorcing her second husband, and we actually moved back to Cincinnati for 1 year
Okay.
when I was in 5th grade.
So
But again, every summer, every Christmas, I
You
grew up a
you
Reds
know
and
the
Bengals
city.
fan.
So
Yes.
here's my thing. I asked this of every top level chef.
Skyline.
Mission-
The answer is Skyline.
Yes or
You've
no?
seen
Thumbs
the
up
show.
or thumbs down?
Absolutely, double thumbs up.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is my man. I'm
I
your new
gotta
best
go.
friend.
They have-
Defo hates the stuff. What have you called it in the past on the show? Swill, garbage. You could change your oil.
You know,
do an
I'm
oil change
exaggerating
with
to
it.
make
I
a
can
point.
eat 6 cheese conies in
Oh, no,
probably
cheese conies. All right.
a minute and a half.
What about
This
the
man
stuff
is
itself?
now a
What about a
permanent-
five-way?
A 5-way, I'm
honorary.
not an onion guy. I'll go 4-way.
What about a no-way?
He's a no way.
yeah. Well,
I am 4-way with onion, wet. I love to ladle on a little extra chili. All right, so I got first.
so
turn.
I go
don't think they brought enough
I
food.
go cheese conies, easy mustard, extra cheese.
Oh, easy mustard. All right.
Easy mustard. Now, did you know? I don't know where your
I'm a Brooklyn boy. I got.
background of
Okay.
Cincinnati cuisine
I'm going to tell
comes
you. but
from,
Go ahead.
but there is a website
Mhm.
called tasteofcincinnati.com,
Okay.
and you can get Skyline chili, you can get Grater's ice cream,
Oh, I love
you can
graters.
get
That-
La Rosa's pizza.
What's your
you can
flavor
get-
at Graters?
Hang on, you
Okay,
can get
sorry.
Montgomeryan ribs.
Right.
Huh?
I've been to Montgomery
Oh.
many times
Oh, so
in
good.
my sports days.
My favorite-
sports travels.
Graters. I don't, but maybe just like chocolate chip. I mean,
Black raspberry chip. Black raspberry chip is the correct answer.
that's the one.
So I married a girl from Ohio that lived in Grove City, right outside of Columbus.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, but they had a good pizza place, Planks. Yeah, well, she's the ex, and but I got along great with the in-laws. But they had a Graters right down the block from where they
Oh.
lived. And that
good.
was
Wow.
fantastic. I'm going to use Skyline
Am I
Chili
allowed
fan.
to eat while we're talking?
Yeah, go ahead. This is the
that's
lunchbox.
all.
I see the camera.
fact-
I feel like that's kind of rude.
Oh, no, it's
is
only-
that not rude?
He is the
No,
Joey
this
Chestnut
is-
of eating.
In fact, I'm
yeah.
going to do things that might shock and
Just go for it.
repulse you
Yeah.
later in the show if they bring a sandwich.
You have to
part of
try
my
this
shtick
crunchy
is-
bread thing.
I do like a Joey Chestnut, but instead of like eating 70 hot dogs, I see how much of a sandwich I could fit in my mouth and put down in like one bite. That's my.
I've been with my family still in Texas for the next month. I've been door dashing Jersey Mike's quite a bit, and I go double meat. And there's been a couple nights where I try to bite into that thing and my jaw cramps.
You have to watch him
I
perform. Yeah.
Can you open it up like a snake? Can it unlock your jaw?
It's a circus act.
We
It
can,
really
we
is.
can show
It's
you.
a
I
circus
unhinged
act.
my jaw,
Yeah.
open wide, and it's kind of shocking. So, all right, Skyline Chili. I first got introduced when I was a young beat writer.
Now, do you go to Gold Star?
I've been there in the
Yeah.
airport. You know, I'm a Skyline guy. I know that what's the original one, like Fort Camp or something
I
in
don't know.
Washington. There's an original chili parter, and I just think the big problem why so many people hate the stuff. It's mislabeled. It should never have been called chili. It should have been called
That's
Greek meat spaghetti sauce.
There
it's
you go.
just like
It's
a
Skyline
sauce.
something,
It's
it
a
should
it's a
Yeah.
sauce.
It's a
not
bolognese. It's a Greek
There you go.
bolognese.
There you go. Yeah.
And you put it on top of the
It's got
pasta.
the cumin and the cinnamon.
Yeah, cinnamon.
Mm.
The cinnamon freaks people out.
When you
There
say
is no
chili,
cocoa.
it doesn't represent anything
With
that reflects
cinnamon.
chili.
With some
Yeah.
cinnamon.
And we're going heavy on the
What
food
is
here because I
this?
like this guy. He likes Skyline.
I do.
You
I love
spent some
Skyline.
time in Austin.
Yeah.
All right.
Franklin's
there's a big,
barbecue.
Well,
are we
okay, I was
going-
going to ask, as UT coach, do you get a permanent cut the line pass
Oh
at
my
Franklin's
God. No.
barbecue? No.
We've lived there now 4 years as the head coach, and I've never been to Franklin's.
What?
Now I've had it delivered.
I gotta
a couple
hang out. You
times.
gotta hang out with me because I always go to all the hot
And you-
spots. And
You get the old.
well.
I'm a food critic pass.
Well,
So-
I don't go around. You know.
Oh, they run out of meat at Franklin's
I know.
by 1 in the afternoon.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Every day.
Franklin's is the world famous
Trying
barbecue
to
place.
muscles
That
here,
brisket is supposedly unbelievable.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's.
But there's
yeah.
plenty other.
wow.
Oh, I know.
really
There's
good
other
ones
good. Up in the
Austin.
hills, I used to go to a
Yeah.
place that was like 20 miles outside of Austin, but that was
Salt
all good.
Lake.
Salt Lake, exactly.
Their
That-
sauces
That's great.
ridiculous.
Yeah, so-
Mustard based.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
If you bring a
Unbelievable.
recruit in here, I guarantee you sign anybody.
well.
And you tell him this is part of the,
if
the
I bring a
standard
recruit
meals.
in here, I'm afraid
you're
he
in
might
trouble. Yeah, yeah.
he might get his thumbs, like hammered or something.
yeah.
Like, hey, come in the back room.
Stuff's great.
You know what I mean?
Got to ask about the state of affairs in college football, though, and we're good friends with Jim Larinaga naturally. Speaking of the Final Four, and I know he's a big fan of the restaurant here. As an
Boy,
any
he's done a
Italian
good
would be.
job with the U, hasn't
Wow,
he?
no, and a brilliant guy. I mean, and one of these things, what we're always impressed about, it's true of football coaches. Basketball coaches remember every play from their childhood in the park through anything that ever happened. They can quote you chapter and verse. It was
Yeah.
2 seconds to go in a game.
Oh,
this guy had the
yeah.
ball. They're absolutely fantastic. But he told us about how name, image, and likeness was going to change the entire landscape of college sports, that we would not know what we were dealing with anymore. Where do you stand with that? And what do you think is going to happen? Because now I don't know. What are the rules?
Well, I've been very, very much a proponent of our players receiving, or at least monetizing their name, image, and likeness.
yeah.
I believe in that wholeheartedly. There was an situation when I was at Ohio State, and the quarterback was Braxton Miller, 2-time Big Ten Player of the Year, great young man, great player. And he was receiving an award, and he had what appeared to be a Louis Vuitton belt on. Okay. So somebody emails the athletic department and says, "What is this guy?
Where do you get that?
What is this guy doing? As a college athlete
Just
with a
say
Louis
it
Vuitton belt."
It was a knockoff he bought on Canal Street
That's-
when he went to New York. Everybody knows that. That's the correct
It was
answer.
absolutely a knockoff.
Yeah.
So I went to the kid.
He didn't buy it in Boca.
No, no. You got to pay the real. You got to pay the real money.
What
here.
is Gucci bag night, by the way?
He should go down to Hialeah. Hialeah, it's all
At
the knockoffs.
Schnellenberger Field.
By the way, we're huge Howard fans.
Yeah,
I mean, going way back.
But no, so you know, he caught grief for a couple days, and I was in the middle of that. I was just like, this is not right. This is not right. And I went on the NCAA website, which is ncaa.org, which means it's a nonprofit organization,
of course, like the PGA Tour.
And I get all of the what used to be kind of the cover up was, well, you just sell the jersey number, and you don't put the name on it, the whatever, and it could be any number 5 from Ohio State, you know, from any generation. He just happens to be the 2-time Big Ten Player of the Year. So I go to ncaa.org because I'm fuming that this kid had to go through this. And
when is this? What year?
This was
approximate
12, 13, probably about 10 years ago.
All right.
Yeah. And so I go to ncaa.org, and they literally on their fan shop, they have a picture of a number 5 Ohio State jersey, and underneath it says Braxton Miller jersey, Ohio State jersey. And I went
ballistic.
Ape, you know what, bananas.
Us,
and so long story short, I've been on this kick for a while. I've been a proponent for it. I do believe that the intentions are phenomenal in terms of these kids finally being allowed to monetize their name, image, and likeness. I believe every human being walking the planet should be able to.
Look at Mayo. He's getting paid.
This show is living proof.
If the market says you're worth this,
he found this,
then you're worth this.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But however, now it's become a recruiting inducement with collectives and this. The kids are getting paid to not do anything, so it's
sounds like my.
It's a slippery slope. Very slippery slope.
Where do you think it's going? Because I mean, we've seen various forms of both concession to it and outrage. And we always love it when Nick weighs in and says, hey, you're going to ruin college football. And then we're thinking, how is it that this diner somewhere outside of Tuscaloosa has $2 million to pay a quarterback, you know, to come in and recommend the waffles? I mean, is there any way to regulate this, you know, where some kind of balance comes out?
I don't know with the whatever phrase you want to use, the toothpaste out of the tube or the genie out of the bottle, whatever it is. I don't know that you can put it back in. I don't. And so I think that NIL is great for the kids. I really, really believe that wholeheartedly in the deepest part of my soul. Now, what we have to do is somehow regulate. One, I think we need a federal statute so that each state isn't governed
Good luck with that right now.
by different rules. I know Coach Saban was trying. I mean, I think he was in D.C. a couple days ago.
If anybody could get it done, it would be him. Just call Joe on the phone.
Well, that's what, when it used to rain in Texas, I would tell my ops guy, hey, call Coach Saban, tell him to shut the rain off.
Stop, Nick.
Tell him to shut the rain off.
We had him down here for a couple of years.
Did you really?
Then it would come down twice as hard.
But no, so if we can get it out of the recruiting space, out of the inducement space, out of the, you know, paying guys to, you know, $50,000 to go to a hospital one time a year, then I think we'll get back to its original intentions, which were to let the market determine
how much.
You want to go. If somebody wants to pay you to go on a billboard, heck yeah, go do it. If somebody wants to pay you to make a commercial and they're going to give you a car for 6 months, heck yeah. That means you're worth it to them to do that.
Sure.
And your abilities and your personality has made you, you look at you. You don't care what. You don't care what
I'm listening.
You don't care what I'm saying right now.
Thing.
He's looking at the sandwich. Actually,
I'm amazed by this place. I really am.
My question to you is this, because now you're going from one of those big powerhouse programs to one of the, I guess, what you would call the upstarts. You know, trying to make a name for themselves.
Yeah, we know who we are.
Right, and but what's heartening to me, well, in basketball at least, when you have a tournament that has 64 or 68 teams. It doesn't all come down to who's paying who gets the, you know, biggest money from just being at a school that has all the reputation. You could actually go out on the floor and win. Can it be like that? But
one guy can change a basketball team very easily, whereas one guy in football outside of a quarterback.
I think that's the big difference is that one or two guys can completely
overhaul the
alter your trajectory.
But when you have a playoff field that's only 4 teams, and I guess it's going to be expanding at some point, which is what it needs to be. And then I guess the playing field could be leveled where on any given Saturday or whatever days they play the playoff games.
And I don't. There is an argument to be made that the poll system actually gave us the best national champion of any sport, because it was the best team, not who had the best 3-game run,
right,
or 4-game run,
or who was able to come off a 2.5 week, layoff at the holidays.
Exactly.
And not have
so I think playoffs are great. I mean, we've been doing it at every level of football other than FBS. FCS had playoffs, Division II had playoffs, Division III has playoffs. So I think that was a step in the right direction for sure. But I do think we need to be careful of saying who's the quote unquote best team in America, and not just maybe anointing the team that won those 3 games as the quote best team in America.
Well, although, as a sports fan, I mean, look what's happening here in town right now. You have 2 teams that look like they were finished. We take the calls from the fans, and, they're saying, I don't even want to make the playoffs. This is terrible, right? Next thing you know, we're on a Cinderella ride in 2 sports.
They're both in the final.
And, I mean, even though the Heat lost, they made a very representative showing of what can be done if, I don't know, I don't buy the chip on the shoulder thing so much, but, because you have to play well as a team. But they did. And they got hot at the right time, and that's kind of an interesting way to determine a champion also. Who's good at the right time?
Yeah, and I think professional basketball and baseball might be the best, and hockey, now that I think about it, to have a multi-game series to determine then who moves on, I think is smart. I think when you go one and done, if you're in the NCAA tournament and your best player gets the flu or has a bad game, you're going home.
Yeah.
And so does that make you, I mean, I look at that Kentucky team that was undefeated a few years back that, they lost in like the Sweet 16 or something like that. And they had a bad night and they played a good team. I don't remember who it was, but they were literally undefeated, had, God knows how many first rounders on that roster, but they lost. So does that make them not the best team in the country? Like, would anybody want to play that team in 7 games?
Yeah.
Well, you play
the 7 in NBA, right?
Correct.
Right. You can only do so much, and given the constraints of the college.
Do we have as much food as you feed the entire
I don't
team
know.
here?
I got to know. I'm allergic to shrimp, so I got to know what's on the sandwich.
You know what? Lubie,
shrimp,
put the shrimp on that.
What's on the sandwich?
Oh, but this
is
good,
a chicken parm. All right, so
chicken and what?
What do we?
Let's reset the table.
Is that just pesto?
We're
pesto?
at Talia's Tuscan table here in Boca Raton. We are chatting with the new FAU head football coach, Tom Hermann. We have in front of us a unbelievable spread. We have mussels in a garlic sauce that's delicious. I'm dipping the garlic bread in the garlic sauce, and nobody will want to come within 20 yards of me later. We've got a chicken parm a la vodka, or is it?
I'll watch this, Coach.
And then, I'm going to go in for the bite. We could do matching bites. Here we go. And
he's got to do a commercial, so he'll do it with his mouth full. Here it is. Oh, Joey Chestnut.
That is impressive.
You need a helmet.
I mean, absolutely impressive.
This guy.
I have. Can I get some extra napkins though? Like
I might need.
I got splatter. I got splatter all over me. But
You're going to choke.
You're going to choke.
No, I told you I move quickly like a snake.
No problem.
I unhinged the jaw.
I move quickly like a snake.
This is the distinguished food critic from the Sun Sentinel. Now
it's amazing how I debase myself.
107,000 people strong here in the Broward area are all entertained by this guy. But that is amazing what he's
Broward
able
and the Palm Beaches, Boca.
Do you have an offensive lineman that could eat like that? I mean, can we put him against somebody?
Yeah,
probably. Next time we're here, let's bring it
I can put it down in about 4 bites. But
now they're also 6'5" and have 10% body fat.
I got that quadrupled.
You can appreciate this when Charlie Partridge, who became a friend of ours, was
he's
coaching
moving away. He's
at
actually
FAU. He put Lubie through some drills. one day. And so we're saying, okay, we're going to have him do a couple of things. We'll take a video of it. We'll put it up on social media, draw some attention to the program here. So he brings like an Outland Trophy candidate out for Lubie to block. This happened. Is there still a chalk outline on the practice field, or did you guys get a new facility out there at FAU? Did they show you that?
I think they put grass over it.
By the way, there's
a marker. There's a little marker.
By the way, so it's tremendous.
What do you
sandwich.
think? This is unbelievable.
This is a tremendous sandwich. It has a crunch. Okay,
I gotta try.
My
Kevin's gonna get mad if I don't try the eggplant.
He's already saying, "Hey, Coach, what's up?"
You know what? This will be a good time. Let Coach eat a little bit of lunch, and we'll take our first break, and we'll be back.
We have to get reorganized here. This is.
I mean, I could do a little. You know what? Let's do a little live spot. Tropical Acres. I was in there last night with my friend.
I saw your martini.
Celebrating birthday week. I had a half-price martini in the bar for $8 during the 4:30 to 6:30 happy hour. You can't beat.
You won't find that in Boca.
In Boca, more like $25 for your Belvedere martini.
Yeah.
Tropical Acres,
Belvedere, huh?
Tropical Acres is a classic, legendary, old-time
money.
Steakhouse. Oh yeah,
can't hide it. When you go Belvedere, you're rolling with the high rollers.
I am a spoiled guy because I used to have the company credit card, and I would be like all expense paid dinners, and you can't go back. It's like when you fly. First, when you're in first class, you can't go back to coach.
He had to
when you go to private jets, you can't go back to first class. And it's the same way when you go to Tropical Acres, you can't go back to your standard rip-you-off steakhouses. They do the happy hour in the bar. They had the $39 twin lobster special last night. I had one of those. I split one of those with my buddy. I had the 10-ounce barrel-cut filet mignon. It's only $39.
Just list what you didn't have.
There's places that are charging $65, $70 around now.
Yeah.
Comes with a salad inside. We love Tropical Acres. Go there. If you want for Father's Day, one of the rare Sundays, they're open 3 to 9 p.m. this weekend. Call for a reservation now. 954-989-2500. 954-989-2500. Tropical Acres is at 2500 Griffin Road, just west of the airport in Fort Lauderdale and I-95. They've been there since 1949. That's older than Defo. They know what they're doing. Go to Tropical Acres and tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
Is this guy the best? I love this guy.
I love this guy.
I love
Fantastic.
this guy. I love these guys.
More coming up on a Lunchbox. An unbelievable feast here. This is Talia's Tuscan table. When can you start coming in to eat here? I mean, like 2 o'clock? Noon. Where are the people?
Noon o'clock.
I think we're a little intimidating right now. I got to be honest with you.
It looks like a last supper.
If you're going to poke your head in, it's like, I'm not sure I want to go
from Coach.
I know Nick Saban's not eating like this, and we'll be back with more in a moment.
Wow. It's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me. I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, Even Keel Fish Shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. The Lunchbox. Wow, this is a great time. We're just getting slaughtered.
Beyond
with food
amazing.
Here.
You know what? You're driving up here thinking, do I really want to do this?
Of
The
course I wanna
FAU
do it.
football
It's my
coach.
job.
What's the food special?
What do you mean, do I
don't know.
wanna
We
do
a piece
this?
of the
Of course
restaurant. Look at this.
Talia's
You
Tuscan
think you were going to
table.
Little Caesars or something?
Talia's.
Like, it's Talia's.
Boca Raton. I wish I knew the address. It's on Dixie Highway here, and
It's a little bit hard to find, as you said.
no, this is
No,
very
no,
easy
it's
to
not.
find. It's
Yeah.
right here on the major drag, Dixie Highway, just north of Spanish River Boulevard.
There you go,
or-
4070
There we
North
go.
Dixie
Thank you.
Highway.
Look at this guy. He's smooth. He's doing
Well,
my
I
job.
was a broadcaster.
It's great.
He's a
4070
coach.
North
Attention
Dixie
to
Highway.
detail,
I
man.
know. Boca
Yeah.
Raton. Talia's Tuscan Table is open every afternoon. They do catering. And look at this wide array of great pastas.
What a great
The
idea. for
sandwich is
catering.
great. The
Wow.
garlic bread is great. I'm dunking it. I'm doing my little dunking in the sauce in the mussels. Beautiful stuff. Coach, I guess we were talking a little bit off air that you actually played some Division III ball in
Yep.
California. And
I
where
did.
was that?
Well, I tell people I was so bad at football that I had to pay a school $30,000 a year just to let me
To
play
get a
in
scholarship.
college, which is
Div
Division
three.
III. Yeah, there's no scholarships.
I'm a Div 3. I'm the
Um,
Tufts Jumbos up outside of Boston, and we
That's
were
good.
Div 3. And
You went to Tufts?
Tufts, and you know,
Yeah,
Tufts
he's
played.
smart.
Oh, I'm going to tie this into South
Wow.
Florida now. Tufts in the same athletic conference, the NESCAC, that Williams College is, which is where Duncan Robinson, now of the $90 million contract and the Miami Heat, he started his college career.
Timeout.
Notice he
Duncan
mentions the
Robinson
money
They gave
first.
him 90 million.
5 years. 5 years. 20 million.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's nice.
20,
but
yeah,
he
18 million a
started
year.
at
That's-
Division III Williams College in New England, won a Division III title, then transferred to Michigan, played 3 years there, and then undrafted but gets signed by the Heat and has worked his way up to.
What was the stat? I think the Heat, they had like of their top 6 players, like 4 of them were undrafted.
Yeah, no,
or
they-
something like that.
And again, that gives everybody hope. It just shows you that it's not about what your perception was or how you got recruited. It's what you can actually bring to the table. And that,
Well,
I imagine that's what you
and not
impress
only
on your
that,
players.
but I
Yeah.
think I hope, like I really do hope that every owner in the pros, every athletic director, president in college, like when you look at the Miami Heat, we would all say if we could have a 20-year run like they've had, life would be good, right?
Pat Riley.
If we looked at the Spurs, we would say if we could have a 20-year run like they had, great. The Patriots, if we could have a 20-year run like that, great. Well, what's the common denominator? The common denominator is continuity.
Yeah,
you know,
and a culture.
Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra have been Spoelstra. You know, I still think of him as the young video guy that got promoted by Coach Riley.
He videotaped the owner's son's bar mitzvah.
Correct. He's now the second.
Weddings,
he's the second longest tenured head coach in the NBA behind Greg Popovich.
Yeah, and Sharp. And he's
and so it's like everybody like be patient.
Right.
Yeah. Like it's coming. If you have the right people, the wins will come. And maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next year, but because different organizations take different time to build a championship culture for sure. But just stay the course. Stay the course.
In coaching, I mean, and there's a lot of talk about this more so. I mean, you hear it in football all the time too, but how much are you going against the other coach? Like how much do you feel like, okay, I'm lining up against, Dabo. How much are you coaching against him versus
their X's and O's or the talent on the field?
Yeah, you're coaching against the players. I think in recruiting, you go up against the other head coach in terms of personality and the way that your program is run, maybe compared to the program that they run. So I think the mano competition, in recruiting is certainly a lot more than on Saturdays.
Okay.
What got you into coaching? Why did you become a coach?
Oh boy.
Why did you become a food critic?
I like the food. I'm passionate about it.
I honestly did not plan on it.
What did you study? What was your?
I wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon.
Really?
Then I realized how much school was involved in that. So then I shifted to broadcasting. I did PA announcing for all. Another cool thing of going to a Division III school is I did PA announcing for men's and women's basketball, volleyball, baseball.
Did you ever get to meet Vin Scully or Chick?
No, I worked at NFL on Fox, so I met James Brown, Howie Long, Terry Bradshaw.
Okay.
You know, we
interesting.
I worked with them every Sunday. So long story short, I thought that's what I was going to do, and you asked, so you're going to get a long answer.
Go for it.
I like telling stories.
Yeah.
So, the summer before my last fall, so I went 4.5 years. I redshirted and I graduated in December with BS in business, a BA in communications. But that summer, I'm an only child, single mom. Dad died in a homeless shelter when he was 52 years old. And so, coaches were always my male role models and my teammates were my brothers. And having done the broadcasting thing for a while, I thought that might keep me close enough to the game. It didn't. I wanted a job where I wake up before the alarm clock because I'm so excited to go to work every day. And I said, well, what's the one thing that you're that passionate about? And it was this game. And it's like, okay, well, you're not going to play professionally. Right? So what's the next best thing to keep you in the locker room, to keep you around that fellowship, that family atmosphere? And
so what was the first gig? What was the first coaching gig and how much did it pay?
Always about the money with this kid.
No. It's fine because I didn't make over $30,000 a year until I was 31 years old.
Right.
I had 2 undergraduate degrees and a master's degree.
Huh.
So, but my very first job, I packed up my Honda Civic, put a little bubble on the top to pack a little extra, hopped on I-10 in Long Beach, and drove out to Seguin, Texas, just east of San Antonio. And coach,
very popular city. Yeah.
Very popular. Well, it's the world's largest pecan is there. If you ever want to go see it, if you ever want to go see it, it's the world's largest pecan.
Did not know that.
Right there in the town square.
Sequoia,
and
Texas.
So I coached Division III football.
Okay.
For $5,000. But I also got
as an assistant or a head coach?
Yeah, assistant.
Yeah, okay.
Wide receivers coach. but I got a cafeteria card that I got.
Oh, beautiful.
I got 2 swipes a day. So that kind of added to it. Was like, what do they call them?
Try to sloppy Joe. Yeah.
What do they call it? Fringe benefits.
Yeah,
there you go. Fringe benefits. Yeah.
Nice. So, and then that journey took you all over the place. And, obviously I guess Idaho State, Rice, and
Iowa State.
State. I'm sorry. All
That's
those
all right.
states out there, they all look alike. But then how did you get linked up with Urban Meyer and the Ohio State job?
Yeah, it's a funny story. Coach Meyer was out of coaching for a year, if you remember, when he left Florida. Was deciding to get back into it, and he had been a huddle guy and like 2 plays on the wristband, ready break, and then QB would, a very NFL type model. But he saw in his year off, and I don't want to speak for him, but this is how I remember the story, that, the no huddle stuff was becoming a weapon. And he wanted a no huddle guy. And I mean, we were like 52nd in the country at Iowa State in offense. And my phone rings the day after our last regular season game. We'd gone 6-6, going to a bowl game at Iowa State. That's a big deal. Big deal. So we finally got to sleep in on a Sunday. But then my phone rings, unknown number, pick it up.
You pick up on no numbers? Me and
No, I'm sorry.
Mine usually says scam likely.
Back in the day, they didn't have that. Right. Yeah, they didn't have the spam risk or whatever. So I pick it up. I'm kind of groggy. Hello? Is Tom there? This is Tom. This is Urban Meyer.
Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah.
My first words, other than hello, were shut the F up.
Which one of your friends did you think it was?
That's what I thought. I thought it was my buddies playing a prank on me.
Urban Meyer, your shot for your offensive coordinator.
Next thing you know, I'm talking to him for an hour. He brings me to Columbus. I interview with him for 2 days, and kind of the rest is history.
Oh, beautiful. Great story.
No, that's awesome. And then, of course, you go on to head coaching stints at first Houston and then University of Texas, Austin. For those who don't know out there, and I know this is like a food show, but we do talk sports.
Food is great.
5-0 in bowls as a head coach, which is pretty unbelievable. Now, I was reading some of the background. My jaw dropped when I read your record, your 5-0 bowl record, and then the fact that in the midst of pandemic and dealing with games being canceled and players opting out for the season and all these things, you got fired. I mean, what's that about? What's going on in this world?
Welcome to coaching, Mayo.
There's 2 types of coaches: those that haven't been fired, and those that haven't been fired, or that are about to get fired. Yeah. So I mean, or those that have been fired, those that are about to get fired.
Yeah.
I screwed that.
But it boggles the mind. I mean, you were a little shocked, right?
Yeah, but I'm happy where we are. I think. Cliched.
Look, Austin's loss is Boca's game.
Welcome back to civilization. Yes.
Well, yeah, and it's been a welcome change. I spent most of my life either coaching or recruiting in the state of Texas, and to be out here in South Florida and just experience something different has been really refreshing.
They say this is, we've been hearing this forever, and it's, sort of become true because we've seen the influence of other, teams outside the state coming in here and recruiting South Florida athletes. And as we have a similar background. I mean, the high school football in California, Southern California, you would think, oh my God, this has to be the biggest hotbed of recruiting. But many people would say maybe it's rivaled by Florida or Texas.
I think any given year, and I didn't mean to cut.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Any given year, you could take.
I'm going to take a bite of that sandwich.
Yeah. Now I'll talk and you can eat.
Yeah. That's the way the show works.
I think any given year, you could take those 3 states and the individual talent. It's a toss up every year.
Wow.
Now, as far as teams go, the investment in Texas and Georgia, I think, is unparalleled by any other state. And I'm on a kick, and I've got a lot of things to do at FAU, and it might have to wait till this next off season. But I talked to a coach at one of our spring practices, a high school coach, and he'd won 3 state 3 straight state championships, and he was making $57,000 a year. And guess what? He went to Georgia to make $122,000 a year.
They say $3 million.
Yeah, no. So it's like we need to compensate our coaches. We need to do a better job in the state of Florida of compensating our coaches, of staffing their assistant coaches staff with true team. I mean, you walk into Katy High School in the suburbs of Houston, there's 16 football coaches on that staff, and they are all teachers in the high school.
Wow.
And so there's just an investment that state, and I think Georgia is similar, is unparalleled across the country. And when we have, it's just hard to see, because we get good coaches here in Florida and then they leave, and they should.
Yeah.
I mean, the market, we talk about NIL, like if somebody's going to double your salary to go move to Atlanta,
I'm gone.
Right. See ya. I'm gone.
I can go to the beach somewhere else.
And this goes for all educators in Florida. I think, deserve more money, whether you're coaches.
Correct.
Yes.
I should have.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how in Florida or California, if I'm a teacher and I marry a teacher, how do we even pay the rent?
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's maybe the most important job of our society is teachers.
Yeah.
And we can't even pay them enough on a dual income to live comfortably. And that's got to chanch.
All right, we're talking.
You got to take a break.
We got to take one more break, but we're going to go a little overtime today because we have, Coach Tom Hermann is here, and it's a pleasure to be sitting and eating with you. One quick thing before the break. One more food question, because we talked about Skyline chili. How about Texas chili? Beans or no beans? I assume
doesn't matter to me. Okay. I think that's very overrated. I like them both.
Okay,
I like them both.
That's it. Good diplomatic answer.
Very good.
We got to say,
turn them on a Delaware Chicken
Farm and Seafood Market. Go to DelawareChicken.com for all the latest daily offerings and weekly specials. Father's Day coming up. What are you doing? You go out to eat, or do you grill at home for Father's Day?
Well, this Father's Day, I'm going to be without my family, so I'll probably just sleep in. And
I might have to invite him over to my ex-wife.
I'm not coming.
I'll tell you right. He doesn't want to meet your ex-wife,
but I'm not coming.
She makes the best meatballs in the world.
Come on.
And I'm going there. I'm going to Delaware Chicken and Seafood Market to pick up a whole bunch of jumbo shrimp. We're going to have shrimp cocktail followed by spaghetti and meatballs. It's going to be not just family, some of her co-workers, but I always do all my shopping for the big holidays at Delaware. It's at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood. They've been there for over 60 years. Doug Carter and his crew take great care of you. They have great quality, service, selection. They have seafood, fish, fresh fish right in from the Gulf and the Atlantic waters. They have the great poultry selections, house-made sausage, the great steaks and pork program. Go to Delaware. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
No, and that's a genuine recommendation there. This isn't something where a guy just comes in and touts something like Steve Garvey selling that weight loss stuff. You love this place.
I would never tout weight loss stuff. Look at
and we'll be out there next week. All right, we're coming back with more. It's fantastic here. Talia's Tuscan Table.
Getting it
a
done.
new discovery here, Mayo.
Getting
Come
it
on.
Done, as
where are
say.
the reviews coming in? Back with more in a moment.
Beach Cafe. It's a South Florida landmark, and it's one happy restaurant right on the water. Tables literally on the beach, a place where you could dip your toes in the sand, kick back, relax with island vibes, tropical drinks, and live music daily. You know it. It's at One Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea. And of course, it has Chef Chris Nealon and his famed Caribbean Floridian cuisine. The huge menu with something for everyone. Seafood, raw bar, conch fritters, burgers, sandwiches, salads, daily specials, and of course, that famous Bimini bread. They've got a great staff that'll take great care of you. There's something to celebrate every day. Open 7 days until late. Parking available on site. Happy hour weekdays 4 to 7 p.m. Go check out more at ArubaBeachCafe.com. Better yet, go in there yourself at Aruba Beach Cafe. Good food, drinks, friends, and laughter are always the catch of the day. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial. serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the blackened grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Lunchbox, we're in overtime.
The coach has to run.
I hope the Panthers could make it to overtime tonight. Have you been watching any of these playoff games?
I have.
Did you get to attend any? Or
I was really concerned after the first two games of the Panthers series, and then they came out in Game 3, did what it was close, obviously, but they did what they had to do, and then Game 4 was
we will
very
see.
Disappointing. And I don't know enough about hockey to know who to blame or why or any of that.
It's a very fluky
We
game.
do now, yeah.
Whoever
We
has
started
the hot
following it a week
goalie,
ago.
whoever gets the fluky goal.
Right.
All right, so let's talk a little bit upcoming season. When did the players start? When's the first game? All that jazz.
August 1st is training camp. The players are, we're 4 days a week. Running, lifting, they give us a lot more access as assistant coaches and head coaches now that we can go out and do some individual drills with our players. And then our first game is September 2nd against Monmouth at home.
Here at the what's the name of the stadium? It's just the Owl Stadium.
FAU Stadium. Howard Schnellenberger Field at FAU Stadium.
That's right.
And it's quite an honor, Mayo, to
Season
have
tickets
you.
available. Anybody that wants to get season tickets, just go to what? FAUsports.org? I don't even know what the website is. Google it.
Yeah, good. I mean,
He'll confuse everybody.
Google answers a lot of questions.
Yeah, just
I think it is FAUsports.com or FAUathletics.com.
Let's recount what has happened.
It doesn't matter.
In the South Florida sports scene.
If you want season tickets, you'll find a way to get them.
All right. Since you have arrived in town as the head coach, FAU basketball has gone to the Final Four. Another regional team has gone to the Final Four, UM.
Yeah.
You've had the Heat defy expectations as a number 8 seed and make it to the NBA Finals. And you've had the Panthers make it to the Finals as a number 8 seed.
And our beach volleyball team, Sweet 16, I believe.
Nice.
In the country. So
there you go. So I think you've brought a lot of luck so far, and I wish you guys luck. I imagine, what in your mind, how many years of is it a building process or just?
I don't think you get that anymore. I mean, I know a few years ago they were firing. Well, shoot, I mean, Florida State fired their coach
Willie Taggart
in the middle of his second
replaced.
season, and Arkansas fired Chad Morris in the middle of his second season, and the guy at USF, I don't. Why,
it's all right.
Why am I forgetting his name?
Oh, because you're hanging out with a bunch of older guys.
Jeff Scott. Jeff Scott. I wanted to say Scott is his first name. You're right. Jeff Scott. They fired after 3 seasons, so you don't get that much time anymore, and probably justifiably for how much they're paying us. But I do think it does take time to build a culture, but the better people you can bring into your organization that are aligned with everything that you believe and can disseminate that message, the faster that culture gets built.
All right. Can you get to where you want to be or need to be in 3 years?
I think we can. I mean, we're not going to shy away from the word championship in any year, including this one. I think we should be competing for the conference title in the months of November and December every year.
Jimmy Johnson used to tell us he had a 5-year plan because he had a 5-year contract.
I had a 5-year extension too.
Yeah, but at least the money's guaranteed.
What a pleasure, Mayo.
That's nice. No, this is great.
Man, let's go.
Hey, one last question. I see you have 2 kids, and one of them
I have 3.
3. Okay,
Yeah.
I missed one in the bio.
Yeah, that's all right.
It said one was named TD. Is that short for something, or
It is short for something. He's got 2 middle names. I'll let him tell you the story, but it does not stand for touchdown.
Okay,
There you go.
that I was just curious. All good.
But we've got Priya is our oldest,
Very
our
pretty
daughter.
name. Yeah,
Then TD, and then Maverick is the 9-year-old.
Maverick,
Yeah.
Texas Maverick. I like it. Well, again, thanks so much for your time. Best
great.
of luck
Yeah,
this
thank you.
season.
Thank you very
A
much.
pleasure
Beautiful
eating with
time.
you.
Yeah, thank you, man.
And tomorrow we're going to be out at where are we going to be tomorrow?
Deck and Spice.
You don't
my
even
friend.
know.
Deck and Spice.
You don't even
Every
know.
day it's like something different.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Indian restaurant in Pompano Beach. That's my new favorite Indian food in Broward
My
County.
man Shaker says it's all good.
So,
We're going to be there.
Looking forward to that. And then Thursday we'll be out at the Ocean Manor
Bamboo Beach Tiki
Bamboo
Bar.
Beach Tiki Bar. And then,
Yep.
of course, Fridays means
The horses, Gulfstream Park.
we love the horses. That's going to do it for today. Again, big
Well, what a
thanks
pleasure.
to Coach
Absolutely
Tom
delightful. Thank
Hermann
you.
and the FAU athletic department. They are getting it done just as Talia's Tuscan Table did.
Wow.
We're going to have to.
Wow.
It's too good to waste. We're going to.
Oh, the catering. I don't know if I can read Special K's
Catering,
writing here.
Everything. Yes. Number one caterer.
On Easy
On
Cater.
Easy Cater,
Palm Beach County.
Okay, there we go. For all your
Recommended.
catering needs, and come in, stop in, get yourself a nice dinner. Beautiful stuff. All right, that's going to do it for today. We'll see everybody tomorrow for Mike Lubie Lubitz behind the
You almost
curtain,
mentioned yourself. which
and
was good.
myself,
Yeah.
Jeff Defo the Forest Coach.
Did you
Tom
just thank
Hermann.
yourself?
I do, and
He
I'm
was
going to thank.
himself.
I'd like to thank myself.
I'd like to thank myself. I'm in awe of myself.
Imagine
As
him
Greg
getting a
Norman
championship
once
trophy.
said.
Well, it was all
I'm
me.
kind of a big
Yeah,
deal.
yeah, yeah.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Greg Norman once, when he won Doral one year, and somebody asked him about the shot he hit into 18. He said, "I'm in awe of myself." All right,
Seems that way.
we'll see everybody tomorrow. Enjoy every pasta, seafood, mussel,
Wow.
eggplant rollatini,
Eggplant
and
rollatini,
enjoy
big sandwich.
every sandwich.